for the Birds. Chapter 5, The Bird Motel. The next day, Phoebe and Samantha continued to head south. They didn't follow the roads because they didn't have to. They cut cross-country. "You've heard the saying, 'as the crow flies,'" said Phoebe. "Well, it means in a straight line, no traffic jams for us." Nothing very bad happened to them, except that Phoebe was chased by a flock of red-winged blackbirds who did not like crows, and Samantha was almost pounced on by a hawk. "You've heard the saying, 'dog eat dog,'" said Phoebe. "Well, sometimes it's 'bird eat bird.'" "You have a lot of sayings," said Samantha. "Sort of like my dad." Thinking about her dad made Samantha feel a bit sad. Being a bird was exciting, but she was glad she had learned how to fly. But when was she going to see her parents and her home again, and Furball? Was she ever going to regain her girl shape? Birds don't cry, so Samantha didn't, but she felt lonely. "Look down there," cried Phoebe encouragingly. "We're getting somewhere." Below them was a small town, and as they swooped down towards it, Samantha could see a large banner strung across the main street that said, "Welcome to the fall migration." "Now that's appreciation," said Phoebe. "Do they think birds can read?" said Samantha. "The sign isn't for the birds," said Phoebe. "It's for the birders." "The what?" said Samantha. "A birder. A birder is a person who enjoys watching birds," said Phoebe. "Although there aren't any playoffs and you can't watch it on TV, birding is now the largest sport in North America. All kinds of people do it. Old ones, young ones, men, women, everyone. Some people even do it in wheelchairs." Samantha thought about this. If a person who watched birds was a birder, what do you call a person who watched cats? A catter? And did you call it cat-ing? "Why do they do it here in particular?" asked Samantha. "Well, we're near Lake Erie now," said Phoebe. "A lot of birds pass this way in spring and fall. They travel down Point Pelee, which is a national park. So at least they're safe from being shot at." Point Pelee is triangular, and it sticks out into the water. It's sort of like a funnel. A lot of birds come from all directions into the big end of the triangle, and then they fly from the small end. So they're closer together, and you can see more of them all at once. In spring, it's the reverse. They land on the small end. They make the big flight across the lake using a chain of limestone islands. In ancient times, those islands were a land bridge. That must have been where the birds established their custom of crossing there. "I see a lot of purple martin houses," said Samantha, "and a lot of bird feeders." "The people around here are very bird conscious," said Phoebe. "They know that the birds bring the birders, and that's good for their local businesses. There's even some talk of turning the local cemeteries into special bird habitats." "Cemeteries," said Samantha. "Ooh, creepy." "The bird is an ancient symbol for the soul," said Phoebe. "But apart from that, think about it. What's in cemeteries?" "Creaky tombs," said Samantha. "Gravestones. Maybe vampires. The wives of Dracula." She had seen too many horror movies. "You're still thinking like a human," said Phoebe. "Think like a bird. There's trees and bushes and flowers sometime. And flowers mean insects, bugs, and beetles," said Samantha. Now she was thinking like a bird. She wanted a beakful of those delicious critters right now. "So it's not hard to turn a cemetery into a good bird habitat," said Phoebe. "It's a good bird habitat already. At least they aren't paving it. They won't be putting buildings on it or factories on it, not yet anyway. So all they have to do is add a nice fountain, take some care to plant some good variety of bird trees, and some evergreens for shelter. And oh yes, get rid of any chemical pesticides or herbicides. You may think those things just kill bugs and weeds, but they get on the insects, and then birds eat them, and they end up in our food chain." What's that? Some kind of a supermarket, said Samantha. No, it's everything we eat. You've heard the saying, small bugs have bigger bugs upon their backs to bite 'em, bigger bugs have bigger bugs, and so ad infinitum? Actually, I haven't heard that, said Samantha. Well, you have now, said Phoebe. What it means is that everything eats something, and everything gets eaten by something, which gets eaten by something else, and so on forever. And if some of those things get poisoned, then the poison is also passed along in the food chain until it ends up in double-decker hamburgers with tomato cheese relish and a side of fries, said Samantha gloomily. Well, that's kind of the big picture, said Phoebe, but some people don't quite get it. They still spray for mosquitoes and... Stop right there, said Samantha. Who likes getting bitten by mosquitoes? Not me. Me neither, said Phoebe, but spraying them is like an atom bomb to kill a mouse, because that kind of spraying kills a lot of other things besides mosquitoes. Try encouraging bats and purple martins in your neighborhood, and try wearing protective clothing and using insect repellent that is a safe one that you make yourself. A lot of birders are using it, and if anyone knows mosquitoes, they do. They're always crawling around in swamps. Now, let's head to the Bird Motel. The Bird Motel, said Samantha. Is that for birders too? No, said Phoebe. This time it's actually for the birds. It's called Robertson's Healthy Grow Organic Farm, but we birds call it the Bird Motel, and so do the Robertsons. They love their birds. They know who keeps their cabbage worms and slugs and aphids under control. Everything there is top grade, no poisons. And no poisons in the insects that you can pick up there for a song. Worms that you would just die for. Believe me, it's the best place to eat around here. Samantha had to agree. She hadn't eaten so well in days. The best of everything with a cool shower in the Robertsons' bird bath thrown in. At dusk, she nestled in the branches of a thick red cedar tree, listening to the distant hooting of the owls who were hunting mice in the Robertsons' fields. Even the Robertsons' mice would be good for you, she thought drowsily. She fell asleep and dreamed that she was in a supermarket with shelves filled with food, and above them there were signs that said Food Chain Bargains, Beetles Grade A, Guaranteed Pesticide-Free, Today's Special Scrumptious Slugs, Owl Treat, Organic Mice, $2 a dozen. Maybe I'm completely turning into a bird, she said to herself when she woke up. Maybe I'm losing my human mind. This is not what I used to think of as a beautiful dream. And that's the end of chapter 5 for the birds.